4 times the United Nations Security Council met on the latest Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and 4 times it failed to agree on a statement calling for a ceasefire. Frustrated by the lack of council action amid rising civilian casualties, several countries took the matter to the UN's largest body, the General Assembly, where we heard resounding calls for a ceasefire.
The fighting must stop immediately. I appeal to all parties to cease hostilities now, and I reiterate my call on all sides for an immediate ceasefire.
China condemns all violence against civilians, opposes all violence, inciting rhetoric, and calls for the immediate end of hostilities and violence. Israel, in particular, should exercise restraint.
But just hours before an agreement was reached between Israel and Hamas, the prospect of an immediate ceasefire seemed out of reach. Within the UN walls and among an international community that has predominantly backed the Palestinian cause against Israeli aggression, Muslim nations condemned what they saw as Israel's disproportionate use of force, while Israel lashed back at Hamas, the Palestinians, and the international community.
What would you do if it was you? If it was your civilians under fire? If it was your family running to the bomb shelters? How would you want the international community to respond?
Israel would ask you, what would you have done if missiles were targeting your cities? But Israel forgets that its occupation is the root cause of the violence.
This General Assembly was convened to press for a ceasefire and a longer-term solution to the conflict. The Assembly does not carry the same kind of legal weight that the Security Council does, but at nearly 13 times the size of the Security Council, it is more representative of the world's nations and can exert international pressure in a way that the Security Council cannot on Israel and its longtime ally, the United States.
In his most recent call with Prime Minister Netanyahu yesterday, President Biden communicated that we continue to stand by Israel's right to defend itself, that we believe Israel is now in a position to begin winding down the conflict, and we expect a significant de-escalation to begin.
The New York Times reported that President Biden also warned the Israeli Prime Minister that he could only hold off growing international pressure for so long. And with this ceasefire agreement, it appears that international pressure may have accomplished something. Liling, CGTN, New York.